Hello folks, it's me again, Amanda Enderman, your trusty tour guide in the wonders of the wonderful city, also known as Rio de Janeiro. You might be looking at the title of the video and going like,
gently cooping? But how does someone gently coop?
or you might be asking,
Wait, there was a coup in the history of Brazil?
as a matter of fact, spoiler alert, there were several coups in the history of Brazil. But this one, I have to say, was on the more gentle side because, believe it or not, it was a coup which all of the population wanted. When have you heard of such a thing? All the population asking, wanting, backing up a coup. But before I get right on to the theme of the video, I have to remind you that I'm currently offering walking tours through the city of Rio, and all of these tours are described on my website, which the link will be in the description box below, as well as in the first fixed comment. So all you have to do is click there, text me via WhatsApp, make your reservations, and let's get to know the city of Rio in person, folks! With me, Amanda Enderman, your trusty tour guide, of course. So now, without further ado, let's get right on to the theme of the video. The coup that I'm talking about was called the coming of age coup. Leave it in the comment section below. At what age in your countries is a person considered an adult legally? And I'm talking about for everything. Here in Brazil, it is at 18 years old. So here in Brazil, an 18-year-old is old enough to vote, is old enough to get married, is old enough to drive, is old enough to drink, to own property, everything that adults normally do. However, in the case of D.Pedro II, his coming of age and consequent crowning as Emperor of Brazil came at the tender age of 14 years old. Leave it in the comment section below. What were you doing when you were 14 years old? And if you happen to be 14 or younger and you're watching this video, imagine yourselves in his shoes. Let me know in the comment section below if you would be up to the task of being emperor or empress. Ever since 1835, the idea of anticipating the coming of age of D.Pedro II was already basically something unanimous, both among progressives and among regressionists. Finally, they agreed in something after so many disagreements that I mentioned in previous videos. The reason why they agreed is simply because they thought at this point that the regency had been a complete disaster. It didn't work to decentralize government. It also didn't work to centralize it later.
This whole regency thing isn't working. We can't win anymore. We want an actual monarchy.
But there was a lot of discussion about when should this coming of age be. According to the Constitution of 1824, originally, his coming of age was established at 21 years old, which I believe a lot of countries other than Brazil, such as the US, the coming of age is at 21 years old, at least, well, legal drinking age. And the additional act had anticipated it already to 18 years old. But now they were wanting to further anticipate it to 14 years old. So, in April 15th, 1840, the liberals founded the Coming of Age Club, and this initiative became so popular that in the beginning of July that year, posters appeared all over the city with the following verses. Queremos D.Pedro II, embora não tenha idade. A nação dispensa a lei e viva a maioridade. Roughly translating, we want D.Pedro II, even though he hasn't come of age yet. The nation doesn't need the law, and long live the coming of age. The nation doesn't need the law. Oh boy. If you say so. They presented the proposition of anticipating it to the House of Representatives and to the Senate, but the representatives tried to gain time by decreeing the postponing of the actual vote of this proposal. And with that, the liberals decided to go straight to Dom Pedro II himself, who by then was, I believe, 13 years old still. He hadn't turned 14 yet. And they tasked Antônio Carlos de Andrade e Silva with actually asking him in June 22nd the following.
Do you wish for your coming of age to be anticipated?
To which the emperor answered,
Yes.
and then he asked him further,
Do you wish it to be anticipated now, or do you want to wait until your next birthday in December?
to which the future emperor responded with the seriousness like he knew what he was getting himself into, and I firmly believe that he did.
I want it now.
Just put yourselves in his shoes for 1 second. I know that if it were me, I would be like, gulp. Can it wait till I'm 30? What about you guys? Leave it in the comment section below. This will be a very interactive video. Anyways, the following day, the assembly actually proclaimed that he was old enough to become emperor. And in July 18th, 1841, he was proclaimed, crowned, sworn in, all the things that are required as emperor of the Empire of Brazil.
But Amanda, I remember that in the video that you talked about Dom João VI, you described in detail what was his proclamation ceremony like, and that it lasted 3 days in a row.
In the case of Dom Pedro II, it was double or nothing, because it was 6 days of partying in a row. Yoo-hoo! No wonder people wanted the scoop. The popular celebrations were at the Campo de Santana. Remember this park, which I have been mentioning time and time again? It is a place where a lot of events in the history of Brazil happened. Get used to it because there's more to come in the future. Spoiler alert again. And this park had been renamed at this point, but the young emperor asked, and it was approved, that it be renamed as the Acclamation Field. And what most stood out for everyone that was present was how beautiful the ring that he wore from being consecrated as emperor was, and also his crown. Speaking of his crown, until Dom Pedro I, the cushion of the crown, which could be seen between the golden part, had been red. But Dom Pedro II had another crown made the way he specified it, and from now on, the cushion was green. By the way, you can see this crown, the scepter, the throne, all of that on display in the Imperial Museum in Petrópolis. And for those of you who have never been here, have no idea what that is and such, Petrópolis is another city in the state of Rio, basically a neighboring city of Rio, not right next to Rio like Niterói, which I have mentioned before in a previous video, but it is just 1.5 hour drive from Rio, both by bus and by car. That's how long it takes, and it is up in the mountains. Beautiful city, very historic, very worth your while checking out. And once you're there, visit the Imperial Museum and you'll get to see the actual crown that stood on Dom Pedro II's head throughout his entire reign, every time the occasion called for him to use it, of course. Finally, the celebrations were wrapped up in July 24th, 1841, with a grand ball in the palace of the Quinta da Boa Vista, which I have also mentioned in a previous video. This concludes this video about the coming of age coup and how Dom Pedro II became emperor, or better yet, the second emperor of the Empire of Brazil. and I hope you liked the video. And if you did like the video, be sure to hit that like button. Then right after that, hit that subscribe button. But most important of all, share this video with as many people as you possibly can, so that each time more people may know about the wonders of the wonderful city. And as usual in this channel, I'll see you in the next video.